So this is the third video of this Quarkus series. So in the first and second video, I have already explained what is the Quarkus and what is the basic definitions, what is the intention behind to develop this Quarkus framework, even though we have already Spring framework. So also I explained some beautiful advantage of Quarkus, some facts and how many connectors are there. Even in the previous video I explained already how easy you can connect the Kafka topic with the Quarkus with the few line of codes, right? And then in the first video I had already explained that what is the difference and how you can see the difference between the Spring Boot and the Quarkus. And even though we developed some project on the Quarkus from the scratch, and also we develop the code from the Spring Boot and compare with their memories and the number of classes they occupy, or some fun facts, right? And how you will choose what is the advantage, disadvantage in the both framework, right? And in the previous video we saw the Quarkus Kafka integration. So now in this video I'm going to talk what is the reactive and the imperative programmings, and I would recommend please visit the first two videos, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel and share this video and like this video, right? So okay, so first of all, what is the reactive and the imperative programmings? So you might have heard the many words, right? Synchronous call, blocking call, thread per request model, limited number of concurrent users. Those are the same name for the imperative. Means the way we do the code nowadays, not nowadays, the way we have been doing the code, the normal code, it is called the imperative, right? And when you talk about the reactive, that is asynchronous, kind of the Ajax call, non-blocking. So, and what is the difference? Before understanding the difference between those two, imperative and the reactive, let me go through this example. So suppose you have developed some app or some website, and host is on the Tomcat server or any web application server, right? And in your code you have to hit the database. So what happens when the first user hit this server? They will create the thread, or they will take the thread from the thread pool, they will assign that particular request, and these threads will hit the database. But as the operation is taking some time, so this thread is not the block. So now this thread cannot do anything. It is sitting idle and waiting for the output from the database, right? In the meantime, if you get the second request, this thread 1 cannot be assigned to the second request, because that this thread 1 is waiting for the output from the database. So they will again take the new thread from the thread pool and assign to the second request, and the second request also will hit the database or the remote API, whatever in your use case, and they are waiting the response from either the database or the API. Again, this thread has been blocked here. So this is called the blocking. It is called the imperative. That is called the thread per request model. Okay, and now suppose in the thread pool you have the n number of thread pools. So in that case, at a particular time, number of requests could not go more than the n. This is the limitations we have. Now talk about the reactive, asynchronous. What happens when the thread come here? It is waiting for the database. They will not have the database, right? They will again, when the request 2 come, the thread 1 can assign to the request 2. So one thread can serve the multiple requests here, right? How it will do, I will show you. So this is the difference between the imperative and the reactive. And nowadays, event-driven architecture, continuous observations on the streaming, we do the reactive. So how we do the reactive and the imperative nowadays? Spring provides the Spring Boot framework by which you can do the imperative. But the drawbacks is imperative. If you see here, I have taken this screenshot from the website, from some other website. Thank you for them who has provided this screenshot. So if you see here, if this one method taking the half second and this method taking the half second, so 1 second is coming, and if you have the 1000 call, so how many seconds you have to wait, right? And for the reactive, you have to use the Spring web facts. So here In this case, if taking the half second, they will not wait for that, it will come here, and the same half second both method would be done, and if you see the time, how much you reduce the time. But if you want to use the imperative, you have to go for the spring boot. If you want to do the reactive, you have to do the web flux. In one framework you cannot do together. But if you see the Quarkus, you can do the both imperative and the reactive in the same code base. So what the demo I am going to explain. So what I will do, I will make one API that we are on the port 9000, and for the each call I will wait that call for the 5 seconds. Okay, and the imperative, first you put the print statement for the first, then hit the API, you have to wait for the result, then again the print will be the second print will be there. But in the case of reactive, it will print the first, it will hit the API, they will not wait for the API, immediately they will print the second, and then they will print the result from the API. Okay, so let us start that. So again, I have told you how to make the project in the course. So you go here and done everything, whatever they required, you can give these things, reactive, all those things you can choose, and you can generate, and then you can import in the Eclipse. I have already explained these steps in the previous video. So this is the project. They will just make one API call. If you see here, it is just one API call. The fruits on the application I have given the 9000, and they will just print the fruit name. That's it. So I am talking about this part. So let me run this code. Okay, so yes, I'm in the same project, and do this, run this code. It will start on the 9000 port number. Okay, yes, and now hit the 9000 port number with the fruits. Let me see, just for testing it's working or not. So localhost 9000 fruits. Obviously it will take the 5 seconds, right? And then you can see the result, because I have purposefully make the 5 second wait for this request, right? Here you can see that. Now this is just this part I have done that, right? Now I am going to make this part, this both reactive and the imperative. So this code is here. What I have done here, if you see in the application, if you go the application, I gave the URL 9000 fruits for this URL, because I am calling this API from here, right? And here the main code. If you see, I make on two methods. The beauty of this code is that the both the imperative and the reactive you can see in the same Java class, right? And that is not possible through the Spring framework, right? So what I will do, first the blocking I will show. In the block, path is the demo, and this demo, let me make it a bit big, this demo and this block. So it will print the first, then it will show the data, wait, show the data, then print the second, right? And unblock, it will show the first, hit the API, don't wait for the API, show the second, and then the this one. Then you can see the data, right? So let me start this application also. So I have already viewed that. So you can see the output here. So let us come here and put the 8080 demo and block. So if you hit the block, you can see it print the first, and now waiting for the result. Please come, please come. Now it came. After coming, it is showing the second, right? Now I am showing the block, non-block. You see the first is result out, second is also printed. Now is waiting for the data. So this is the difference. And just for the time interest, I am not showing the performance hit. But if you hit the both application on the 5 browser and see the number of threads, you can easily find out how many threads are being generated or required for the imperative and the reactive. Thank you very much, and I hope you will definitely subscribe this channel and share and like these videos. And if any questions, I would happy to give the answer. Keep learning. Thank you. Bye bye.